Do write to me at ndtv.com/Nidhi. And Siddharth Bhatia, first on who should take responsibility. Whose primary responsibility is it? The Prime Minister himself or Mr. Pawar, whose ministry is so crucial to all of this?
Well, in the final analysis, the buck stops at the Prime Minister. He's an economist also. But what we've seen is that Mr. Pawar has not been able to come forward, and it falls under his ministry. He's not been able to come forward with any kind of cogent series of measures to say that this kind of rampant inflation, remember, this was the season in which onion prices were supposed to come down. Until about 2 or 3 months ago, there was hardly any inflation where onions were concerned, and so also other things. But now onions are 80% more than they were comparative time last year. So in that sense, he has not been able to come up with a cogent set of measures to say, here are some steps, instill confidence in the general public. It's also sort of looking a little ad hoc, the whole thing, you know, as and when everyone gets together in the morning, come up with a slew of measures. So I think he must take a lot of the blame. And I think the NCP read those signals and reacted very swiftly to what they thought was a dig at their leader.
And I think problems with their allies over something like this is probably the last thing the government needs at this time. But again, like Sunil said in his report, it reflects the dissonance within the coalition, doesn't it?
And the last thing that the public needs, I mean, why should we be only looking at the political situation here? The last thing that the public needs is this kind of finger pointing and sparring and digs. What it needs is a cogent set of steps, and nobody has been able to come up with it and say, well, we promise you, for the last 18 months they've been saying, we promise you inflation will come down. And just when it looked like it might come down, it spurted. So I think it's bad for the general public, and I think they'll be politically extremely dangerous in the medium to long run.